So hey everyone, in this video we are going to explore this amazing code editor called as Cursor AI. Alright, so this is, you can say, as an alternative to VS Code with some extra features which is completely backed with AI. Alright, I have been using this code editor for a while and this has impressed me a lot. It has made my coding development experience a lot better. So this is currently the most trending code editor which is currently going on because it's backed with AI, and also it has a lot many features which we are going to explore in this video. All right, so let's get started. So first of all, you see that the interface is almost similar to VS Code. All right, so there is nothing much difference, just that there's nothing over here. So VS Code has its own branding over here, but here it's completely plain. And also, in order to save some extra space, VS Code used to have some icons to the left. Okay, so in Cursor they have just moved it all to the top over here, and also the drop down, just to save some space and have a much more wider space for coding. All right, so this is the only change. So rest all the others are the same, and also the extensions which the VS Code actually were using, the same extensions we can also use it in this code editor. So there is no problem when it comes to extensions. All right, so it is compatible for both VS Code and Cursor. Okay, so if you just go to the extensions tab, you can also import whatever the extensions you had from VS Code. So you see that, click to import all local VS Code extensions. Okay, so you don't have to worry about extensions that there are only for VS Code and not for Cursor. It's nothing like that. So there should be no excuse like to shift from VS Code to Cursor. So that's what I actually hesitated in the middle. So when I was previously using VS Code, so I think I thought that I have to use all the different extensions, but there's nothing like that. So extensions are almost common for VS Code and Cursor. All right, so now when it comes to what is the extra benefit, as I told, this is a AI code editor. In order to bring up that AI window, you just need to click on Command L or Control L. So this will move bring up this chat window over here, and over here you can just prompt anything. So this will go ahead and make the changes directly, and I'll just come to that whatever. Okay, so if you just press Control L, so this is the window which you get. So let's say currently I'm just having a simpler boilerplate React code which I just installed using Vite. So if you just see, I'm just running the development server. So this is the simple boilerplate React application that I have actually installed. So let's go ahead and tell Cursor to build a simple to do app for us. Okay, and let's see what can it do. So I'm just going to give it a prompt on this chat window saying that build a simple to do application inside this thing. Okay, so first of all, we need to give some context. All right, so we don't have context as of now, so we just need to click on add context. And if you want to give the entire code base, so you can just click on this code, okay, over here. So this will go ahead and use your entire code base that you actually have over here. Okay, so currently that's not working, so you can just give files and folders. So you can just give your entire working directory over here, and you can just go ahead and say build a simple to do app or something similar. So I'm just going to say create a simple to do app where I can add, edit, or delete to dos. All right, so I can add, edit, or delete to dos. So you don't have to check for spelling mistakes. It will automatically identify what you are exactly saying. So add or delete to dos. Okay, so if you want, you can just be generic. It will just give its own way of implementation to build a to do app. So if you want something specific, you can just go ahead and give it some specific instructions. Okay, so there's no limit. You can just give as big as prompts as you can. Okay, so if you see in the bottom, there are two modes over here. One is the agent mode, one is the ask mode, and one is the background, which I'm actually not sure which is actually run agents in the background. So I've only used agent and ask. So if you want the cursor to actually make some changes to your code files, so you can just choose agent mode. So if you want to ask something, like let's say you don't understand any code, so you can just go to ask mode, and then it will just it doesn't make any changes to your code, but it will just give some suggestions. It will just be a helper for you. Okay, so that's the different modes. Okay, so you can, for now, you can choose for agent. So now these are the different models. Okay, So the AI models or the LLMs that you actually call it. So currently I'm having Claude. So currently I'm using the free plan. So I will be having some limited options over here. So currently I'm working on this AI model Claude 4 Sonnet, which is version 4 of this. So if you want, you can also switch to other models. All right. When you're using a free version, you will just have some limited amount of tokens. So tokens are nothing but the usage. Okay. So how intense do you actually use this? Okay. To, force cursor to actually do. So based on that, your tokens will get consumed. Okay. So I'm just going to leave this to Claude 4. Okay, so basically this is the most advanced AI agent over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this prompt. Okay, so let us see what can it actually do. First, it's giving us a context what exactly is going to do. So it's going to help us with a simple to do with add, edit, and delete functionality. Okay, so it's already found out that we already have an existing code base, so it's not going to create a new one. So we can just read across what exactly it is actually doing. So it's going to create a to-do list over here. So what all it's going to do, and it's going to make changes one by one, right? So you see that it has made the first change by creating a types file, okay, which is a to do types. Okay, so the next step, it goes step by step. Okay, so you can just review one by one, and over here on the bottom you can just have the controls to accept or reject cursor suggestions. So currently this suggestion that it has made, so either you can keep it or you can undo it. So if I click on undo, it is going to remove this. Okay, so currently it has created a file. So if I just click on undo, it is going to delete me. So I just can just click on keep. So now it's giving me an option to review next file. Okay, so you can just go step by step instead of getting lost where all changes it has made. So it is very easy in that matter. Okay, so you can just click on review next file. So this is the file which it has created. So it just checks for any TypeScript errors, all that. So it is only going to resolve by itself. Okay, by using a continuous loop. So you can just see that this is the changes that it has made. So I'm just going to keep this and go to the next file, and over here as well. So this is the form input element. So again, I'm just going to keep this and go to the next. Okay, so this is the local storage, basically to, I guess, to save the to-dos in our local storage, so that whenever we close and come back, it is going to appear there itself. Okay, so now I'm just going to the next file, and yeah, so is basically we just had the boilerplate code. It's removing that, and it is adding our own code. Okay, so you see that it has made some changes over here. One is the red, one is the green. Red is something that it has removed, and green is something that it has added. Okay, so if you want to accept that, you can just click on keep on here itself. You can just cherry pick the code suggestions right inside this window. So if I do on this, I can just click on undo. So if I want this, I can just click on keep. Okay, so if I click on keep, it's going to keep this here, and again I can just do the same over here, keep, and for the same here as well. Okay, so if I want for everything, I can just do a main keep over here, which will actually accept everything, the changes it has made. All right, so these are all the files. So this is the next file. So this is basically the CSV file. Again, I'm just going to keep it all, and finally I guess this is the last file, and yeah, so I'm just going to keep this as well. Okay, basically cursor also sometimes it makes mistakes. Okay, so it made some linting errors, basically some TypeScript errors. So it just identifies them and then goes ahead and fix them. Okay, so we just don't have to again and again reprompt. So that's a good thing over there. So basically you see that all of this. So now we just need to test this application. So it is going to give us some suggestions where we just need to run this command on our terminal. So if you wanted to run it, so you can just click on run. If not, skip or reject. Okay, so I'm just going to click on run. So this is going to start our development server. So I think it has made sure it has running without any errors. So that's what it's giving us. So at the last, it gives us a entire summary what all it has done. Okay, so it says that it has added some core functionalities where to add, edit, and delete to dos, and also to toggle completion, and these are additional features that it has actually had. So basically it just segregates what all changes it has made. So what all we have asked, what all additionally it has done behind the scenes, and yeah, anything else, any extras it also mentioned over here. So it gives us a good summary where we can actually go across and just check. So let me just go ahead and check my application what it has actually made. So it's not the best. Okay, so it has made just for mobile screen devices. Okay, so let's just try what it has done. So let's say do homework, add to do. So it adds our to do's. So it has made it pretty impressive. Okay, so it's not the best. Okay, so because it doesn't know what exactly it has done. So if I want, I can edit this. Okay, so and also if I want, I can just delete this. Okay, so no to do's, so that's pretty good. All right, so we can just reprompt saying that this is only made for mobile windows. So we can also tell it to expand this to the desktop window. Okay, just to take the entire space. So let's go back and let's say you have built this just for mobile screens, and I want you to also expand to desktop devices as well. Okay, so we just don't have to just see anything. It doesn't have to be the best English, so that's a good thing here. So it will only identify what exactly you're trying to say. Okay, and let's give the center. Okay, so now based on our existing chat, okay, so it's going to analyze and just make the changes. So let's see what can it do. So it's made some changes in our app CSS. So now previously the max width was just 800, now it has made to 1200 pixels. Okay, so that's the exact things it has made, and let's wait for it to complete all the changes. Okay, so it has made all the necessary changes in our CSS file, and we're going to keep all of them, and now just try to visit our application, but still this doesn't look good. Maybe this is the problem. Okay, so sometimes we ourselves need to do some changes, because this cannot actually view our exact application. All right, so that is why vibe coding is actually not completely truth. Okay, so there is some flaws also here. So we ourselves as a developer, we need to understand the code and know where exactly it's going wrong. Okay, to be honest, vibe coding is a myth. All right, so I just had to get rid of this index.css, which it actually didn't realize there was also CSS here. So if I want to, undo something that changes that cursor I actually made, so I can just click on this restore checkpoint. So it is going to restore all of the changes it has made. Okay, so you can just click on continue. So this is going to restore up to this checkpoint. So basically we just have a series of chats, right? So if you wanted to bring it back to that checkpoint where it has made all the changes, so you can just do that. All right, so now it has undid all the CSS changes that previously I had accepted, right? So now if I just save this and just go back, so still it's not looking that good, but yeah, it works. Okay, so now I can again do reprompt, like saying that I want this in dark mode. So in dark mode with a toggle switch. So this is going this will just make the following changes. So with a toggle switch, so let's see what can it do. So let's see if it can convert this to dark mode. So first of all, it's going to lay down whatever the to do's it has to do. So it's going to create a context for me. It's going to create a dark mode toggle. It's going to add that to a CSS variables, and then integrate the theme provider. Okay, so 4 steps. Let's see. So you see it has made a quite a lot of changes. Okay, so basically on 5 files. So I'm just going to accept all of them. Either you can just keep all from here by checking one file by file, or you can just click on keep all right over here. So if you don't want it to accept all your changes, so you can just say undo all. So I'm just going to keep all. So it is going to keep all of the changes over here. So still there is some TypeScript error here which it hasn't caught for some reason. So let's now just check if our application is working. So yeah, so currently it is in dark mode. So if I switch to the light mode, it switches to light mode. All right, so this is all it does. So you see that this is not the prettiest looking application. So that's why I say vibe coding is a myth. So if you want, you can just use it as a assistant, as a developer beside you, and not completely dependent on that. Okay, so many people are scared because cursor AI came and our jobs are going to go. So it's completely not like that. So it is still dependent on the human intelligence. Okay, so that is actually more intelligent than artificial intelligence. Okay, so that's the point which I would like to say. So currently I'm just using the free plan. All right, so it is also telling me how many tokens I have currently used. All right, so the same, if you can, if you are actually trying to do it, so you might not get this much tokens. Basically just for one or two prompts you can just try, and so that's where your limit gets exhausted. Okay, so there is another feature in cursor such that you can just give it relative context to what it has to exactly do. For example, this text over here, I just don't like this, so no to do's yet and all this. So what I can just do is I can just select this portion of this text, and you can just see I have two buttons over here. One is add to chat and one is quick edit. So I can just click on add to chat. You see that it gives us the line numbers from 145 to 150. Okay, instead of me going to app.tsx and manually choosing the line from 145 to 150, I can just select this and click on add to chat, or you can just simply just do control L or command L, so that will just add that to the context. All right, so now we can just say that I did not like this text. Okay, so I can just say to change it. Okay, so this would go ahead and make the changes only to this relevant context that you provide. Okay, so now if you just give it enter, so let's see what changes does it do. So now you see that it has made the relevant change. Again, as I told, the red is the text that it has removed and green is the text it has added. Okay, so either I can keep or I can undo. Okay, so I'll just keep this, and this is how you can just select a portion of your code and then give it as context to cursor. So currently I've all discussed about chatting, okay, chatting with Cursor AI. So now there's also another feature, that is Cursor tab. This is like your GitHub Copilot if you have used it in VS Code, okay. So even if you have seen me in my previous videos, I have been used that. It's like a ghostwriter, okay. So that is also a good feature in Cursor, okay. So that is Cursor tab. So if you just go over here, you will find the option of a Cursor tab. So if you just don't find this checked, which means that it is enabled. If you want, you can also disable this, all right. So let's say I just delete this. I want to bring up my own implementation. So let's say if I just do some, I start writing some code, you see that it is only giving me suggestions like this. So I can just start typing like this. So to do's dot length. Okay. So if that is greater than 0, if I just hit tab, it's going to, give its own suggestions to do that. Okay. So even though if I just type some enter, so it is going to give us some suggestions, something like this. So you see that uh, everything it does by its own. Okay, for example, I forgot to import something, like let's remove this. Okay, so if I just it is going to give me this error. So I can just, what I can do is it is going to suggest me like this. Okay, so I can just press tab and it is going to import it. Okay, so that's a pretty cool feature that will help us code much more faster. Okay, so let's say for example, I just delete this and go to the exact component where the to do component is rendered. So if I just hover on this, so you see that it's giving me one uh, over here tab to next move. Basically it is only wanting us to take to that particular code over there. So if I just click on tab, so it's going to this exact place where exactly it has to do the import. Sometimes it doesn't work, so we just have to like manually do this. So after that it will give us the suggestion. So you see that this is the suggestion. All right, so now let's see what can it next do. So you see that as you just keep typing, it's going to give a suggestion. So this is a pretty cool feature. All you just need to do is tab, and then whatever the changes you want to make, you can just do it. So let's say I want to give it some console log of to do's, and then want to log my to do's. So I just press comma, it's only going to suggest me. So this, even if you're a slow typer, this tool is going to help you a lot. All right, so that's the cursor tab. So that's a pretty cool feature, so which can help us manually if you are trying to code and not just wipe code. So this is a handy little tool. All right, so let's now explore the next feature, that is cursor rules. Okay, so you can also give it certain rules, saying that every time I want to, like, let's say give some suggestion, saying that it has to not do it like this, it has to do it like this. Every single time I just need to keep doing that. So instead of that, I can just give it my own rules. Okay, so I can just put it at the top level. So that is called as the cursor rules. Okay, so if you, for that you just need to go to settings, and over there you need to add a project settings for that. So you can just go to the settings icon right at the top right here, and over here you can just see your exact cursor settings here. So we are currently interested in this rules and memories. Okay, so basically you can just add a rule that's saying that, like, let's say whenever I start giving you something, so you just need to maintain a documentation for that. So instead of us every single time just prompting cursor to add that documentation, we can just put it at the top level through this rules. Okay, so we can just click on this project rules and click on add rule. So we just need to give it a name over here. So let's call this add, let's say add docs. So I'm just going to choose always apply, and here I'm just going to give it my description. Okay, so you just need to say description, and over here we just need to give it your context, like let's say for every change you make, please maintain in a separate markdown file. Okay, so just anything that makes sense. Okay, so separate md file. So if I anything change it makes, so it is going to maintain a markdown file. Okay, so maybe in the root folder, so let's say in the root folder. If it doesn't exist, then create it. All right, so this is the description which I have just given. If you want, you can just give it as long as context now if you want. Okay, so I'm just going to set this always apply to true. So I'm just going to save this. Okay, so this is our project settings. So anytime I tell it to make a change, it's going to maintain a documentation for that. Okay, so this is just an example, so you can just consider your own implementation for this. Well, actually you don't need this description and this always apply, so you can just cut this and you can just replace the entire thing with just our context. Okay, and just give this a save. Okay, so this will go ahead and read this file for every single time it now gives us some response. Okay, so once we do that, we can just go to our chat. So I'm just going to close this. So since I press Ctrl L, so since the file which I was in was on that rules file, right, so it has automatically added this for me. So you don't even have to include this. Okay, so it will automatically analyze that rules file and then it will just pick it up from this. So let me just give it a better context over here. So let's say in the root folder, call it changelog.md. So the file doesn't exist, create it, append every new entry with the file name, what changed, and a short summary. Okay, so this looks more descriptive. Let's see if it can pick this up. So I'm just going to again just say change the background to purple. Okay, so let's see if it actually does that. And I'm exactly going to give my app.css over here. So if you want to directly give it instead of like pressing at the rate, so you can just drag and drop over here. Okay, so that's a trick which you can just add. So you see that it has added app.css for me. Okay, so let's now see if it actually creates a md file. So let's wait for it. It still did not create. That's because my bad, I had to click on always apply, so that was the reason. Okay, so let's save this and just try it once again. So let's say change to green maybe, or let's open another chat since it has already had having some context. So I can just say change the background to green, and I'm going to give the context over here. Okay, so let's close this add docs.md and let's see if it can pick that up. All right, so also you can just add in multiple chats. Okay, just like how you chat with ChatGPT, right? So over here also you can just add multiple chats and you can just maintain one chat just exactly for what you are doing it. Okay, so you see that now it has already added a task over here to update the changelog md file with a background change. So let's see if that file is created. So let's wait for it. So as I told, you can just create as many chats as you want. Okay, so that's the good thing. So you can also refer to the history. So this is the history that I currently have. So you can also like refer to that exact specific chat which you want. Okay, so let's see if it has made that. So now it's going to make the change in our changelog md file. Okay, so it's first created that file and you see that it has made. Okay, so it has successfully picked up from this rules file. Okay, so this is how you, instead of every single time you just need to say to add the logs to this change log, so you can just create a file and the root and it is going to pick it every single time it is making some change. All right, so yeah, this is the cursor rules. All right, so yeah, so let's now look at the next feature. And one more thing I just forgot to mention is that, so let's say you're in app.ts and let's say there's some file error. Okay, so let's say I forgot to import this to do item over here. Okay, and just save this and run my development server. So previously I just got some error like this. So what I can just say is I can just copy this. So I can just click on add to chat. So you can also use the terminal inside your cursor chat window. Okay, it's not just restricted just for your code. Okay, so this is also one pretty good feature. So instead of you copying and pasting it right here, so you can just just say Control L. So this is going to add that terminal message to this. Okay, and you can just say fix this, and this is going to get the context from your terminal as well. Okay, so that's a also useful feature. So this is how you can also, interact with your terminal as well, in order to, fix some errors that you actually get. Okay, so that's a pretty cool feature, right? And also you can feel free to tweak in certain settings according to your need. Okay, so just as I told, you can add in a rules file over here. So you see that I have already added. So you can also add some user rules. So based on how cursor has to respond based on your prompts. Okay, so you can also add that based on your preference, and you can just explore all other options over here, which is enabled in this cursor settings. Okay, by default, if you want, you can just search them. So there is about infinite possibilities that you can actually do with cursor. Okay, so there are endless, so I just can't explain them all in this one video. Okay, so just as you keep exploring the features and start coding, so you will understand how exactly this is powerful. Okay, how exactly it can ease your development. Okay, so and also as I told you, vibe coding is a myth. It cannot do everything by itself. So there is also human intervention that is actually needed. Okay, so I guess this is all for about this video. So thank you so much for watching. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I'll just try to answer them. So subscribe for more videos in this channel, which I make regularly on this on the entire web development context. So that's it from my side. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, and I'll see you guys in the next video.